Jenny Winters from the Lake County Regional Office of Education. Today I'm going to tell you about the new standards Illinois has adopted for 6th grade in the area of mathematics. Illinois is one of many states in our nation who have adopted these very same standards, and teachers all across the country are working hard to transition to these new expectations. This is a graphic to represent the language of the 6th grade standards. The words that appear largest are the words that appear most often in the standards. So you can tell our 6th graders are going to be talking about applying numbers to problems, expressions, and real-world situations because these words appear so often. These are the 4 critical topics of study for 6th grade: ratio and rate problems, understanding division of fractions, writing expressions and equations to solve problems, and beginning to think statistically. These are going to translate into units of instruction for our children. One of those units is a study of geometry. In this unit, students are going to take their understanding of volume from 5th grade and apply it to volume of rectangular prisms that have fractional edge lengths. In addition, they're going to learn about the topic of surface area. In the next unit, they'll learn about ratios and proportions, where they'll apply what they've learned about decimals and fractions to set up proportions to solve problems. Another unit includes integers and expressions. In this unit, they're going to understand the value of negative numbers and the relationship between those and a number line. In their next unit, equations and inequalities, they'll be learning how to set up equations and inequalities to solve real-life world problems, and also how to graph these. And finally, they're going to learn about statistics and have an introduction to probability. In their statistical study, they'll learn how to analyze not just measures of central tendency, but also measures of variability. These are very important for real-life applications. So how are our 6th graders going to be spending their time while they're studying these units? Well, they're going to represent their understanding in a variety of ways. One of those ways is to use a variety of manipulatives or tools to represent their understanding. They may be using fraction equivalency towers that'll show the relationship between fractions and decimals and percents. They may use cubes to help them with their volume study. They may use tools like this to help them study the surface area by finding and creating nets of figures. They may use Cuisenaire rods, which are wonderful for showing the proportional relationship between quantities. They may use 2-color counters to help them with their integer understanding, where reds would represent negative numbers and yellows would represent positive numbers. They may use algebra tiles or algeblocks. You may even hear them using things like coordinate graph grids or tools for coordinate graphing. We may see them using cubes to build volume, to help them with understanding of decimals, or you might even see them using dominoes, dice, or cards to help them with their fluency in their operations. All of these are going to translate then into picture models. We want our children to be able to make graphic representations to help solidify their understanding. So they're going to be doing a lot of graphing on a number line or on the coordinate plane. Then they're going to also be able to see the relationship between the graphs and the manipulatives to tables and charts to organize their information. They're also going to use symbols, equations, expressions, inequalities to represent and solve problems. We want our children to be able to read, write, speak, and listen about their ideas. One of the key ideas is that our children can not only speak about their thinking, but listen to each other and critique the reasoning of their neighbors to see if they agree or disagree. And finally, we want our children to be able to apply all of this to real-world situations. Otherwise, there's no point in doing it. Now, the big idea behind all these representations isn't just to be able to form each one, but to be able to translate between them. Because I can be given a graph and been asked to analyze it using my oral language or my written language, be able to take that graph and make a table or chart, find the equation from that graph, be able to create some kind of a visual model or manipulative model that represents that graph, and that's showing me a deep understanding of those concepts. So no longer is it acceptable to just get the right answer. Now we need to be able to prove why our answer is reasonable and explain the process that we use to solve those problems. I hope you are as excited about the depth of understanding your child will develop with these new standards as I am. And I'm sure your child's teacher is anxious to make this transition as well.